But anyway, here I am. I called into the store and picked up a few Indian Pale Ales, the Great Southern India Pale Ale from Boston Brewery Company. I've had this one while it's still below atmospheric temperature. Oh, I think it's powerful. G'day Franzo and welcome to video 9 of the Tour de Franzo coverage. In this episode, couch surfing continues, and today, by the way, is Easter Sunday, the 31st of March 2024, in which we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. So anyway, what's been happening? More couch surfing, which has involved Centrelink, shopping, Centrelink, cycling, Centrelink, and then of course Centrelink has continued with more Centrelink, while waiting for my aged pension to kick in, because they have been wanting more and more paperwork, and even having to explain to them how divorce works. While on one of these shopping trips, I did meet this lovely German couple. So what are your names?
Sabine. That's my name.
Sabine?
Uwe.
Uwe. Yeah. Ah,
Quite right.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Sabine and Ulva were a German couple who had just done the Nullarbor from Adelaide to Albany and were now proceeding northwards, and their reports of the cold nights across the Nullarbor did assure me that I was probably wise to stock up on a bit of cold weather clothing. So I eventually decided that I could make some good use of the time I have available to do an overnighter ride, but this way along the South Coast Highway to Elleker for an overnighter. This is my route. I set off from Lower King, but instead of going directly into town, I took Mercer Road to the turn off onto the South Coast Highway. The South Coast Highway down to Elleker, where I spent the night, and then along the old Denmark Road for another 27 kilometres until I got back into Albany, through town, and then back up to Lower King. Leaving Albany did mean having to get used to the new trailer setup and the different way of loading up my luggage. This is when the hills are fun. You get some momentum behind you to get you halfway up the next hill. That's doable. Traffic ain't so much fun. So here we are, last, say, couple of kilometres into Elleker. The sun's not far from setting. Beautiful long shade across the road there. This is a lovely time of the day. Oh look, there's moo cows. Hello moo cows. Moo! Moo! Having a good feed, moo cow? Okay, so here's the deal, Franzo. I have made it to Elleker. It is now about 6:30ish. The sun's setting. So I'm going to have to work out some arrangements. I'll show you my campsite. I've used this sports ground before as a campsite about the same time last year. But anyway, here I am. I called into the store and picked up a few Indian Pale Ales, the Great Southern India Pale Ale from Boston Brewery Company. I've had this one while it's still below atmospheric temperature. Oh, I think it's powerful. But then there's the question of water for overnight. Fortunately, I did carry a couple of litres, which will do me for the night, with a bit of careful use. However, I thought it'd be safer to have a bit more available. So I asked about drinking water, and the lady at the general store told me that it's all bore water here. Try the public toilets opposite the sports ground. So over I went. The one point that I could locate said that you should boil this water. This India Pale Ale was pretty strong stuff, I think. I try it again. This water needs to be boiled before using it for drinking or cooking, it says. So righto. Fortunately, I brought a spare bottle so that I can do that. But then the tap has had its spindle removed, which is just as well. I did invest in one of these, and tonight looks like I actually get to use it. So if this is successful, this spindle thing for taps will be on my Grand Tour de France. So I'm not going to throw that one away, because I can accept a place like Mundrabilla or Balladonia being short on water, because that's the Nullarbor. But what a lot of these communities do now is, because of vandalism and that sort of thing, they've taken the handle off the tap spindle. Fortunately, I did cotton onto these here. This can be used as a replacement. So with this, I can access some water to fill in this, which I can then use my trusty methylated spirits cooker to boil it up, and I should really be good to go. Well, if it still doesn't work, I've got enough to see me through the night. I'm not going to die of thirst. Discomfort maybe, but not thirst. So with the last few minutes of daylight left, the sun has actually gone below the horizon, but here's the sports ground where I'm camping. There's a playground over here where I can work off some energy if I really felt the need to. There's another bit of equipment over there, and here is where I camped last time. It's actually a nice little spot here. I'll probably tie up a ridge line either here or over here a bit further, set up a simple A-frame shelter with my tarp and the walking poles. So first point of order is to fill up that bottle, try to get some drinking water, set up the shelter, go and cook some food, boil that water. If nothing else, hopefully that water will be good to wash my dishes and myself in the morning. Who knows? But if not, again, the blue bottle there is the what I know is good Albany drinking water. That'll do for tonight and for tomorrow until I can get some more water. We'll see how this all goes. Meanwhile, the mosquitoes are starting to come out, for which I have Aerogard, and there is also a mosquito net in my kit too that I could use. Let's go and do it. Good morning, Franzo risers. It is now around about 7 o'clock-ish It is Wednesday the 27th of March, and I've just been sitting down to enjoy a nice cup of filtered coffee, courtesy of my little silicon coffee filter thingamajig. Well, it turned out to be a fairly interesting sort of a night last night. My campsite turned out to be rather busy, with a couple of people having a walk around, and then about midnight a groundsman came along with his truck and his dog and did some stuff around the oval there. I'll just give you a quick look. That's the oval, if you can see it. Turns out it's a foggy morning today, which means it'll be quite a nice, pleasant sort of a day for riding, I think. However, the interesting part was I bedded down into my camp. There is my tarp A-frame setup, and I had my tea and spent the night with some really bad gastric reflux. In the end, during the night, I got up and brought up my dinner and felt fine pretty quickly after that. So anyway, I did have a good sleep. Turned out to be fairly busy here, but I was warm and comfy enough. My weather report says that it was down to 13 degrees today, so the new thing was I did finally get to try out this elastic strap system with my sleeping quilt. It did a good job keeping the quilt in place around the air mattress so that I didn't get those cold spots that you'd normally have if you're tossing and turning around in your sleep like I do. Anyway, that's the night. It was a pretty good night otherwise. Few ladies came by walking their dog and stopped to have a little bit of a chat about what I was doing here, and I had one very friendly magpie came up and sat at the other side of the picnic bench here, had a look at me and decided probably there was no food here for him, so he went on and have a bit of a poke around in the grass. So it's off to do some bits and pieces around camp and gradually pack up. I think I'll be packing up pretty slowly. My tarp is quite wet from all the dew overnight, so I intend to go towards Denmark, see how things go. Bye. The township of Cuthbert, enjoying some of the midday shade. Traffic is pretty steady. I'm starting to do a bit of climbing. Well, it turns out that young siding wasn't a goer, thanks to paperwork, and this time Centrelink wasn't the problem, it was more like Coles. But anyway, I turned around therefore to turn back home from Elleker following the lower Denmark road. That turned out to be a fairly pleasant, easy sort of a ride, a warm day, not overly hot temperature-wise, but the sun still had quite a sting in it. But fortunately, as you can see, there was plenty of shade available on the road until I got home to Albany. So this is part of the roadworks in Albany, doing the ring road. So I got back to Albany, tackled the new roadworks, which included the Albany ring road, with all its impatient drivers, had a walk up York Street, enjoyed a well-deserved doner kebab and an ice cream, and then made it at home by sunset. So there you have it, Franzorisers. That's the end of video 9 of the Tour de Franzo, and as you can see, my couch surfing continues while still getting to do a bit of riding and getting up a little bit of fitness, and hopefully that will help. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget, click like and subscribe. And if you'd like to shout me a beer, you can do that by cutting and pasting the GoFundMe link, and you can paste that and you can shout me a beer or a house or whatever you like. Meanwhile, happy Easter to all you Francerisers. Christ is risen. Death has been conquered. Sin has been atoned for. Have a blessed Easter.